While we're getting Instagram online, welcome to a new special feature, Outlaw Outtakes, and we're live on Instagram. Welcome to the Instagram audience. Welcome to our friends on Facebook and on YouTube. And today, Greg and I are going to launch something that we've been talking about secretly in the background ever since the alien invasion. We wanted to do some special live events like we started with. And we wanted to bring a little more energy to it. We wanted to talk a little bit more about topical things. And right now, as you can see, he's Beavis and I'm Flathead. No, comedy is an important part of things. But you know what? You know what I want to talk about today, Greg?
I have no idea.
I'm really angry about why
Really?
people feel like they need to be so angry on social media.
I want to just punch him in the face.
And what I realized after getting schooled by someone with an actual education is that these social media things, that ones we're broadcasting to you right now, are designed to create rage, to get more engagement.
Yeah.
And they're foaming us at the mouth. And as outlaws, I want to stand up against that. I want to stand for us being able to talk to each other with less rage.
Well, good luck. That's not really the American dream I'm hearing right now. Sounds like communism to me.
Communism. You will smile.
Oh, man. Hey, did you ever see that movie, The Penguin Lessons?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's really good. I just watched it on Netflix. And real quickly, it takes place in a South American country, and there's a military coup, and there's a penguin. And but one of the things that they talked about is they call them the disappeared, the people who are just taken up off the street and they disappear. And I was thinking about our current United States of America and how we have military and federal agents going into neighborhoods and people are disappearing. And that is what is happening right now in our country.
Yeah, to a certain degree, I think you're right. And just to be someone who's done some research on this, because it's very disturbing to me, there are actually there is a process beyond getting thrown in an unmarked car by masked people with no badges that we don't necessarily hear about. People do get released. If you just happen to be an American citizen and you are thrown in one of these vehicles, they let you out after about 3 days, and they don't talk about it much. One of the things I saw yesterday was an article that someone wrote about how there are a whole bunch of lawyers that are watching this. And when you do that to an American citizen without due process, you actually open up the contractor, the person that did the grabbing, to a lawsuit. And so there's going to be a whole shitload of lawsuits coming as these things unfold that are designed to push back on that. So you might actually win the lottery if you get picked up by one of these people. And we might see a whole new thing of take me. No, I'm making light of a really serious subject, though. And
that's okay. I think it's okay to make light of serious subjects.
We could use a little levity right now.
Amen.
Yeah.
Dad, do you have any good dad jokes?
No, because I'm not a dad.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. All I've got is revolutionary ideas and silly thoughts that have been bouncing around in this dome of mine. Outlaw thoughts, and they're basically outlaw outtakes, which is the theme of this show today. Now, just so those of you might be seeing this later in the feed after we're not live, you missed your chance to comment and talk to us live. But if you had been someone who talked live, we would put this up and you'd get to see that your comment and we'd address it. And we're hoping to do more of that. And these are going to be short runs. We're not going to spend a whole hour here. And we don't really want to belabor the point, but we want to create more engagement. And if we have to make you angry to do it, we're willing to do so. No, I'm just kidding.
It always works in my relationships.
Yeah, I can see that.
We want to go deeper in a loving relationship.
Well, that brings up a really important thing. Like right now, you are involved in a play. Yes. And you're playing a character in the play whose love language is violence.
Yes.
say a little bit about the name of the character, who the playwright is, and what it's been like for you to play such a dark character.
Well, so I know her first name. Her first name's Timberlake, and she wrote a play in the late '80s called "Love for the Nightingale." She based it on the Greek myth of Philomel and Tereus. And Tereus is a king. He falls in love with his sister-in-law, Philomel. He rapes her, cuts out her tongue so she can't talk about it. And this play, Timberlake wrote as a feminist view on the story, talking about patriarchy, violence, and the danger of not talking about these things. And it's a very strong play. It's very much in your face. I'm playing Tereus, and there was definitely in this process of working on the character and working on the play where I was a psychological mess. I really started to yeah, I was in a dark place, and what helped move through that was working with the other actors, getting their permission to be this character, and really, as an individual, me, Greg, interacting with the other individuals in their real life and getting their permission. And I do think that, as you and I have said, if we don't talk about these fucked up things that we are as human beings, and I say we collectively, I was just talking with a friend yesterday at College of Marin. If we're of the mind that we are one, then all the heinous, ugly, evil shit going on in this world is in us. And
Yeah,
I
we're a
think,
reflection of our environment, and we're being called. The reason it's showing up out here is because we all have to deal with the collective shadow in here,
yeah,
particularly around male sexual aggression. And so kudos to you for confronting this, for being willing to be the face of evil in a dramatic exposition, and then the necessary personal internal thing to actually embody that in a way that's convincing. That's heavy duty magic. Like, I hope you've got a nice retreat planned afterwards, some salt baths, maybe like a sulfur springs or something. Um,
I'm going to play Ice Cube 24/7.
yeah.
Today
Yeah.
was a good day.
And we really need to start dealing with this as in an honest way, because just shaming men isn't necessarily the effective way to go about it. We have to allow a space for men to connect to the reason this is happening, and not just ignore it as if it's some kind of a character flaw, which its outward expression is a character flaw. Let me be clear, but there's a reason, and it's called testosterone. And we have to learn why this operates the way it does, why there's a benefit to sexual aggression, and why we have to learn how to contain it and make it something that's whole and part of the way that we have a culture. And meanwhile, we're seeing a lot of it out there in the streets in camouflage right now.
Yeah. And even just in the military, like the whole thing, was it just a week ago where the general was saying, we're not doing any more of this mamby-pamby military shit.
Oh yeah, you mean the Department of War, the head of the
Yeah.
Department of War? Yeah, um,
Yeah, the
namby-pamby.
renamed
Is that
department.
a quote?
Yeah, I think pretty close to one.
Yeah, well, what he said was that they're not gonna. I mean, he said a lot, but one of the things that struck me is they're not going to be reviewing accusations of hazing and those kinds of activities anymore, and that being in the military is going to be like the good old days where we can haze you, and if you happen to be a female service member, you could be subject to sexual abuse or sexual harassment, and they've taken a lot of the oversight down. I've seen some pushback from public generals. In fact, the general of the California National Guard said that he stood up and said, we're not going to follow illegal orders with regards to the president. We are not going to comply with tactics that are designed to undermine due process in our state. and that's just how it is until until I'm not the general of the National Guard in the state of California anymore. So, you know, I think we all have a lot of worries, and it's helpful to actually get off the rage train for a while, stop worrying, think long term. And nonviolent resistance is really important, like not giving them a reason to escalate and send in more troops and go to a police state level is a really important value that I have. That doesn't mean that you can't quietly prepare for battle on the sideline and in the secret places where the resistance is forming. And I think that's actually an important function. So you can do that. And it doesn't have to be resistance. It can be community building. Like, people forget that one of the most powerful things that Black Panthers did was, it wasn't the guns. They took responsibility for food and education and media in their communities. And they wrote things and they published them and they got them out there, and they were very informative, and they also fed their communities, and they created cultural exposition for their communities, as well as discipline for the men and women in their ranks. And there's ways to do that that aren't reactive and get us sucked into the kind of, come here, let's fight kind of thing that's going on with the current administration.
That sounds like a very beautiful place to land this. I think every Monday we have episodes coming out. So, full our podcast episode, and subscribe, support Blast, Compton Cowboys. And
And look out for more Outlaw Outtakes as we get more fired up and in your face on Moped Outlaws.